three sizes can be achieved by following the advice at the end of part 1. This is a 3-part step-by-step video guide, and the written instructions can be purchased from the website. In part 1, we crochet a shoulder strap and pick up stitches to form the left bra. In part 2, we pick up stitches along our extended binding to complete the left bra, and we mirror the instructions to create the right bra panel. In part 3, the two panels are joined together and the work is set in the round. Don't forget to share your photos via social media, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll never miss a stitch. I'm Maria May from the Casting On Couch, so let's begin. For this project I'm using Rowan's Cotton Glace 4-ply yarn, so for results similar to mine, ensure to marry the ball band tension. Using a 3mm crochet hook, create a slip knot, like so, and we're going to create a series of chain stitches. So to do that, yarn around the hook and pull through. That would create our first chain, like so. Yarn around a hook, pull through. That would create our second chain. Yarn around the hook and our third chain. So carry on until you have 128 chain stitches. So 126, 127, and now 128 chain stitches completed. Next, go into the 4th chain, so not including the loop on the hook. That's our 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th chain. Enter into it and single crochet. So that's pulling through a loop and then pulling through again through the 2 loops on the hook. And then chain 1, miss the next chain, but go into the 2nd chain along, and again single crochet, and we're going to repeat that all the way along our set of chain stitches. Chain 1, miss the 1st chain, go into the 2nd chain stitch, single crochet, and again chain 1, miss 1, go into the 2nd chain, single crochet. So I want you to repeat that all the way down until you reach the end of your strap. And note where we've got like a 4 chain grouping here, into that space later we're going to collect our knitted stitches and create our bra from this little space at the end, so bear that in mind. With the shoulder strap now completed, grab a pair of 3.25mm knitting needles. Now open up the 4 chain space, insert your needle, rejoin the yarn and pull through a loop through that 4 chain space, and then we're going to do a kind of backwards yarn over, in that we're going around the top of the needle down to the bottom, and while keeping that on the needle we're going to insert it into the space and pull through another loop, so that we now have 3 stitches on the hook, sorry, on the needle even, 1, 2, 3. Then again go yarn around the needle and then attempt to get the last stitch by pulling it back through, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches, and that's what's needed to start off this bra. So that's brilliant. Tighten it all up, turn the work, and then we can create row 1. So I'm grabbing my needle, and row 1, I'm inserting it into the fronts, because row 1, which is a wrong side row, we are going to purl these 5 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So pull everything tight. So that's row 1 completed. So ready to start row 2. Before I do, I'm just going to do a little single knot to tighten things up, as our first stitch is going to be a slip stitch. So row 2, this is the right side. I want you to slip 1, and then next we're going to increase. We're going to work into the front of the next stitch and then the back. So let's get rid of this tail which wants to get in the way. So knit into the front and then the back. Knit 1. And again, we're going to do a knit front back increase. So knit into the front of the next stitch, keeping it on the left needle and knitting then into the back. End the work by knitting 1. So you have 7 stitches. Now row 3. Begin the work by slipping 1 and purling 6. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Row 3, a wrong side now complete. Now for row 4. Begin the work by slipping 1 and do a knit front back increase. So knitting through the front of the next stitch and then into the back of the stitch to form our increase. Next, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and knit front back increase. So knit through the front, then the back, and knit 1. So that's row 4, and we have 9 stitches now. Now for row 5, slip 1 and then purl 8. Whoops, let's do that again. Slip 1, purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's row 5, slip 1, purl 8. And you'll notice that all the wrong side rows follow this logic. So eventually I'll be able to edit out those rows, because I'll assume that you'll carry on, but I'll warn you when that happens. So row 6, I want you to slip 1, knit 1, knit front and back, so create an increase, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, again increase, knit front back, so knit through the front, knit through the back, and knit 2, so we have 11 stitches. Now row 7, I want you to begin by slipping 1 and then purling the remainder of the row. So in fact that would be purling 10 on this particular row, row 7. And I want you to maintain that logic throughout. So from now on, I am just going to be demonstrating right side rows because I'm going to assume that you can manage to slip 1 and purl the balance of the row there. Row 8, slip 1, and then knit 2, and note we're going to now do a different style of increase. We're going to knit right, and what I want you to do is basically go into the lower portion of the stitch, and the easiest way that I find to do this is to actually go into the back of the little nub. So slip the needle through the right leg of the stitch, or the nub if you like, at the back, and then knit into it. Before you take the stitch off, knit the stitch as normal, so you're creating a right leaning increase there. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and next we're going to knit left. So first of all knit the stitch, and then we are going to go into the 3rd stitch down from the needle, and we're going to pick up the left leg of the stitch here. Can you see? So if I show you that again, look, there's the 1st stitch on the needle, there's the 2nd stitch, and there's the 3rd. Enter from the back with the left needle, grab it like so, and then with the right needle you are actually working the back of the stitch, and that would be a knit left, and that's going to be the preferred style of increase from now on. I want you to next knit 3, 1, 2, 3, so that completes row 8. Now for row 9, slip 1 and purl 12. So I'm not going to show this row. I want you to slip 1 and purl 12. Row 10, slip 1, knit 2, and knit right. So again we want to grab the stitch below, entering into the right leg or the purl nub. You knit into that stitch first and then into the main stitch itself, so that's a knit right, and that will give us a lovely fully fashioned look to this bralette. Right, so actually doing a knit front and back sort of is less visible, so That's why we've got left and right leaning increases to make it look more decorative. Right, now where was I? So we've done a knit right, next knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next knit left, so first of all that's knitting the stitch and then grabbing the first, second, third stitch down from the needle, entering into the left leg of the stitch with the left needle entering from the back of the left leg like so, and then knitting into the back. So that's 1 knit left and knit 3. So that's row 10. Row 11, I want you to slip 1 and purl 14. Row 12, begin by slipping the first stitch, knit 2 and knit right. So I'm grabbing that right leg of the stitch below, knitting into it, knitting the main stitch. Knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next knit left, so that's knitting 1 first and then grabbing that left leg of the stitch like so, and end the work by knitting 3. And for row 13, slip 1 and purl 16. Row 14, slip 1 and knit 2. Knit right. So create your right leaning increase there and then knit 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Next, knit left. So I want you to knit 1 first and grab the left leg of the stitch 3 rows down from the needle, and then next what we have is another increase here. We're going to knit right, so we want to go into this right leg of the stitch below, whoops, and then work into that, and then the parent stitch. That's, we've done a knit left followed by a knit right. End by knitting 2. Now for row 15, I want you to slip 1 and purl 19. Row 16, slip 1, knit 2, 1, 2, knit right, so a knit right increase, knit 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then knit left. So knit the stitch first of all and pick up the left leg of the stitch 3 rows down, work into the back of it. Next, knit right. So we've got 2 sets of increases here, and the reason I've got 2 sets of increases here is because this is the shaping which will form the armhole, and the opposite side is the shaping that forms like the cleavage area. End the work by knitting 3. So what that means is that I want more shaping, more stitches to fit around the armhole than I do for the cleavage area. So row 17 would be slip 1 and purl 22. Row 18, slip 1, knit 2, knit right, knit 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 13, and then we're going to do our double increase. So knit left, so knit the next stitch, pick up the left leg there for a knit left, and then knit right. We have 4 stitches this time. Knit 4, 1, row 19, slip 1 and purl 25. Row 20, slip 1, knit 2, knit right, knit 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 13, 14, 15, and then I want you to knit left. So knit first of all, pick up the left leg of your stitch and create your knit left. Next, I want you to knit 2, and then I want you to knit right. So that's a knit right. We have 3 stitches and we knit 3. Now row 21, I have to explain this row as it contains a little knit stitch, so it's different to the others. Begin by slipping 1, then purl 3, 1, 2, 3, take the yarn to the back and knit 1, and then purl the remaining stitches, so purl 24. Row 22, slip 1, knit 2, knit right, knit 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 15, 16 and 17. Knit left, so knit 1, pick up the left leg of the stitch on the 3rd row below. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and then knit right, and knit 3. So that's row 22. Now row 23, a wrong side row, begin by slipping 1, purl 3, 1, 2 and 3, and importantly knit 2, 1, 2, very important to get that in, knit 2, then we can just purl the balance, so purl the remaining stitches. Row 24 now, slip 1, knit 2, and then knit right, knit 19, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 18 and 19. Knit left, so knit 1 and then grab that left leg for your increase. Knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, knit right, and knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Next, check you have 35 stitches, so let's do that together. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 35. So that's perfect, ready for the creation of the binding. So next we are going to be creating, I'm going to be creating a very slim binding in which we can pick up a lot of stitches. And what I'm going to do is turn the work first. We're going to be working short rows, that means. And we're going to begin with row A. So for row A, I want you to purl 4, and then we're going to wrap and turn. So we're going to slip the next stitch purlwise onto the right needle, take the yarn to the back of the work, and then slip that stitch back over to the left needle, and then turn the work. And what that does is prevent holes forming in the work later on. So for row B, I'm going to take the yarn to the back, and we're going to knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to turn the work, For row C, we're going to slip 1 purlwise and purl 3. Please note that this is an amendment to the original garment that you see. It helps tighten that back edge and will prevent curling, so always slip 1 initially on row C. Repeat rows B and C until you have a total of 60 short rows, and ensure to mark every 10th row. Marking the work every 10 rows will enable you to pick up stitches more evenly later. So we have A, B and C, that's 3 rows so far. So when I get to row 10, I will mark that 10th row and keep doing that until I reach 60 rows. Note that for size medium, you would complete 70 short rows, and for size large, you would complete 80 short rows.